Hello guys, Topsy. Today, how does Overwhelm work? It's a level 6 perk, tier 5. So, Overwhelm. Learn to take advantage of your high initiative and prevent the enemy from attacking effectively by overwhelming them with your attacks. With every attack, hit or miss against an opponent that acts after you in the current round, inflict Overwhelm status effects, which lowers both melee and range skill by minus 10% for one turn. The effect of the stack can be applied to multiple targets at once with a single attack. So it works with AoE, basically. And it works regardless if you hit or if you miss. So if you shoot at a target, even if you miss the attack, you still apply the Overwhelm stack. That's why it's better than Reach Advantage. Reach Advantage only works if you hit. So, Overwhelm. Nothing in this game can resist Overwhelm, right? Like it doesn't get countered by something like Resilient or other status effects. As long as you go first, as you are faster than your opponent, you can overwhelm them. And that's pretty cool. It is a very strong debuff, especially on those powerful enemies that have a lot of skill, a lot of melee or range skill, so they have a high chance to hit your brothers. Overwhelm is one of these perks. You have to make sure that you go first, so you have to have a lot of initiative, and a lot of the time, to make sure that you have a lot of initiative and always keep that initiative high, you have to have the perk Relentless. So Overwhelm has these strings attached to it that you have to go first in order to make it work, and that has to be done with leveling a lot of initiative and then going for the Relentless perk most of the time. But you can overwhelm your opponents, and that works with AoE. And that is super strong. That is a really, really strong debuff that you can apply to your opponents. And let me show you. Oh, wait. Let's check out what Turtle has to say. Turtle's guide, best guide in Battle Pass. So, yeah, it's a strong overwhelm thing. Let's look at the mechanic. He does a lot of good math that I am too dumb to do. Yeah, very important. Stacks even apply if you miss. Lowers the minus 10, so which is minus 6 to 8 skill for most enemies. So that's effectively like minus 6 to 8 hit chance that an opponent has on you, roughly. Okay, so there is no stack cap, so you can overwhelm somebody 100 skill, but there's always a 5% chance to hit or to miss an attack in this game. So that's kind of funny. You can overwhelm a lindworm, so he cannot hit you. He rolls on 5%, pretty nice. Really, really combos well with tanks, by the way. You have like an overwhelm backliner and then a tank in front, and then your tank gets only hit on 5%. It's really nice. Yeah, you can only attack one stack per action, per enemy, so that means it wouldn't work with the three-headed flail, which is kind of sad. Again, three-headed flail doesn't have the cool interaction that you might think it has. Yeah, works with AoE and the range attack misses and scatters to another target. Both of them will get a stack. It's kind of funny. Yeah, will reduce the breakout of net skill because that's based on melee skill. So you can really debuff and control dangerous enemies with Overwhelm, and then especially if you combine that with nets and or tanks who have like high defense, you can really control powerful enemies like Unholds, Lindworms, like they will basically roll on 5% to hit you. At least this is possible. Yeah, he's saying it's equivalent to having more melee defense, kind of. Yeah, poor synergy with the weight command, because weight reduces initiative by 25%. That's why you want to have Relentless. That enemy is better than a debuffed enemy, true, but especially big, strong single enemies cannot be killed fast. Like you cannot kill a Lindworm fast. So having like specific Overwhelm bros in your team gives you more flexibility, right? Yeah. Yeah, again, polearm, war size, AoE, dagger, ranged weapon, all that kind of stuff. Whatever, I show you in game how I use Overwhelm, or on what kind of brothers I would consider Overwhelm. As already stated, pretty nice with AoE. Okay. So, Overwhelm. Nice if you have somebody like a sword or dagger duelist who has high initiative and relentless. Something like this guy. I could take Overwhelm on him, and then I have a duelist who does a lot of damage and overwhelms his opponents. This is kind of like my Battleforge dodge guy. Theoretically, I can make him into a fencer. He already has relentless, so if I had the perk, I could take Overwhelm here. Again, I have to be faster, so the combination with Battleforge, unless you Battleforge dodge, I have a specific video on that, has low synergy with dodge. Would have higher synergy if I would level a lot of initiative on the Sword Lancer and then take Relentless and Overwhelm. So I have AoE Overwhelm from the backline, so my frontliners are less likely to get hit by dangerous opponents. Yeah, in general, tends to be better with backline AoE. You can make an Overwhelm Archer, fast Archer that shoots Overwhelm arrows. I don't like to have a fast Archer because a lot of the time I get I'm too fast for the AI to move, and then I cannot get my Archer in a good position. Complicated stuff. I will tell you that whatever. That's for some time else. Again, AoE with like the greatsword, so theoretically you can try to make like a nimble guy and level a lot of initiative with then the AoE of Overwhelm and potentially even reach advantage. So you debuff your opponent and then you get reach advantage to get additional melee defense, and then you're like giga survivable and every opponent will roll on 5% to hit you. Kind of funny. You can make a dagger tank with dagger mastery. You can step 3 times, and if you are fast, have a lot of initiative, you can triple overwhelm your opponent. So these dagger overwhelm tanks are like probably the best tanks to tank down very scary opponents like Lindworms early on, because they don't have a lot of requirements. You just need high initiative dagger mastery, and then you can already overwhelm your opponents. Pretty nice. And guns. There we go. The AoE from the guns. I really like that. Guns don't use a lot of fatigue, so getting up to high fatigues, to high initiative values is not that hard. And I don't have Relentless here, so I have to be careful with the wait command. If I don't have Relentless, I have to be mindful about that. But like I have 140 initiative, so that's faster than most opponents, and that, especially for the bigger opponents, they tend to be slower. So that's I can still overwhelm them a lot of the times, even if I use the wait command. But again, if you don't have Relentless, be mindful when you wait. That might fuck up your overwhelm. Again, high initiative. So overwhelm. The thing, what I like about the guns is I can overwhelm the targets that are immune to fearsome, because nothing in this game is immune to overwhelm, but roughly half of the opponents are technically immune to fearsome. So this is kind of like the maximum debuff, right? So the AoE guns, I have 3 of them, start debuffing my opponents, so my frontliners have an easier time dealing with a lot of opponents, right? They get overwhelmed, so they are less likely to hit my frontliners. They drop moral checks, so they are, again, less likely to hit my frontliners, and they are more likely to get hit by my frontliners. They strip away armor, so again, those guys start one-shotting, triggering Berserk, Killing Frenzy, and then those guys can go ham. Good support for my frontline in general. Really like that. You can use it, of course, on crossbows, on throwers if you like to, but throwers and crossbows tend to build up a decent amount of fatigue. Same with archers, they are relatively fatigue intensive. So yeah, there's a little bit of an anti-synergy as soon as you use a lot of fatigue. Because for every fatigue point that you accumulate, your initiative drops by 1. And for every piece of equipment that you have equipped that costs 1 fatigue, you lose 1 initiative as well. So yeah, the more fatigue you use, the more heavy your equipment is, the less likely you are to go first, the less likely it is that you can apply Overwhelm. Alright, this is it for Overwhelm, guys. Please write me down in the comments below how you use Overwhelm. I think the combinations are endless, and there are a lot of fun builds that you can do with Overwhelm and super fast bros. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.